Am I the a-hole for giving my husband only 3 days to return my jewelry set that he gave his brother's wife as a wedding gift? I, female 36, have always been into jewelry. I used to own a variety of jewelry sets, but due to unfortunate circumstances, most of them had to go so I could afford rent after I lost my job. My husband never got lucky to land a job since 2013. Thankfully, now I have a stable job that gets us by from month to month. I also kept one set of jewelry, which is the most valuable, whether momentarily and or sentimentality, since it's part of a family heirloom. The set includes a pair of earrings, a bracelet, and a necklace. All gold material, and again, they are worth a decent amount of money. My brother-in-law has been with their girlfriend for 10 years, and they recently got married. It was a huge deal for the family. My husband wanted to get them a decent wedding gift and tried borrowing money from friends and neighbors, but got turned down. He kept stressing out about it for weeks, and just the other day, the wedding was days prior, and the groom and bride are off to their honeymoon. I discovered that my jewelry set was gone. I freaked after my husband nonchalantly said he gifted it to his brother's wife as a wedding gift. I was fuming. I asked how could he, and he replied that he had no money and nothing of value to give the newlyweds. And besides that, the set has been sitting in the closet since July 2019, and I never wore any piece of it, so he figured I'd forgotten about it. But he said he'll figure a way to pay me or get me a similar one once he starts working. But I very loudly told him absolutely not, and gave him 3 days. Just 3 days to return the set, or I'll stop paying for everything in the apartment. He looked puzzled, like he couldn't believe I was serious. He said he doesn't want to cause an issue, but I said it's already there. And if he doesn't want issues, all he has to do is contact his brother or his wife and retrieve the set, or go get it himself. He tried to twist the argument and offer the same solutions as mentioned above, but I refused. I said I just want my set back, and he has 3 days only. He kept talking about how tasteless and disrespectful it'd be for him to retrieve a wedding gift, and said this will be damaging his relationship with his brother and family, and also how impossible it was to retrieve the set in 3 days when the couple are on their honeymoon in another country. Am I the a-hole for this? He said I was financially abusing him by threatening to stop paying for anything knowing I'm the breadwinner. Also, he refused to give me their new contact info to retrieve the set myself. What do you think, Emily?
I mean, he called it tasteless and disrespectful to ask for it back, but it's pretty tasteless and disrespectful to steal it from your girlfriend under her nose and give it to your brother and his wife. If you can't afford a wedding present, just say, I'm so sorry, money's tight, pandemic, everything. We can't afford anything right now.
Yeah.
And then trying to claim that she is financially abusing him because you're the breadwinner and you control all the money, but he's not really doing anything on his behalf.
Like, even if this whole thing was switched around and this idea of being a guy who was the breadwinner and he was doing this as a punishment to his wife or something, it's still a case where you stole a family heirloom, something that wasn't yours. Like, sure, you might have a joint account as a partners and stuff, but something like that is not yours to decide what to do with. You basically stole from your partner.
Especially after she's had to get rid of so many jewels.
Yeah.
Because of the pandemic. And that's the one last set she has left. And you're like, you don't need that.
Yeah, and I think the very fact he's refusing to give the contact details to his wife really says a lot about how the fact he knows he did the wrong thing and he's just too ashamed for anyone else to get involved. Am I the a-hole for ruining my husband's Christmas? My female 29 husband, who's 33, is the breadwinner, and I am a stay-at-home mother. We used to both work, but due to medical problems, I couldn't keep working. As a result, I don't have what they call fun money, or money to spend however I want. My husband gives me money only to spend on the house or the kids, but that's that. I might borrow money here and there, or try to figure out something if I needed essential stuff like hygiene products.
What, he doesn't even let you buy basic necessities for yourself?
He does, but it's borrow money? What, so you have to pay it back even though you can't? It's a bit weird. I might borrow money here and there, or try to figure something out if I needed essential stuff like hygiene products.
Rage.
This Christmas, my husband gave me $600 as my Christmas gift.
Wow.
I freaked out thinking I now have to get him a decent gift to match his. So, I went shopping and got him the most affordable thing on his wish list, which was a $180 pair of sneakers with his favorite color. I didn't show him the gift until we visited his parents' house for Christmas, and when it was time for gift opening, he opened the gift, saw the sneakers, and looked extremely upset, like he was about to blow up.
Did he give her the $600 for her or to go and buy presents for other people?
I'd imagine it was for her, but even
I
then,
don't know.
he's literally just giving her money like he always does.
Because it seems like he gave it to her before Christmas if she had time to go and buy him the sneakers.
True. I asked what's up, and he asked why in the blue hell I decided to waste money and get him sneakers, aka the cheapest gift on his wish list. I said it's all I could afford, and he literally lashed out and said, "Bull smack, I gave you $600. That's about the right price for a new gaming console, and it was right there at the top of my wish list." Emily, you predicted it!
Oh my goodness, what a great guy. So was she not supposed to buy gifts for the kids with that money as well? Or was he trying to justify getting a new gaming console by being like, here's the money, now you buy it for me. No one else gets anything. Because I make all the money because I'm the breadwinner. Don't forget that. I make the money.
Yeah, well, like literally.
No, it says
it's her Christmas gift. Her Christmas gift is to buy something for him.
You know, happy husband, happy wife. That's a saying, isn't it?
He said it in front of his parents. It was so awkward. I felt so horrible. I wanted to disappear. But I apologized and said I was sorry, but I had other stuff I needed to buy, and money wasn't enough. He took it as in I was blaming him for not giving me enough money and picked an argument with me about how wasteful and financially irresponsible I am. Otherwise, I wouldn't be struggling with money for so long. I disagreed and said I don't have a salary due to medical issues, not being irresponsible. Also told him he could get the gaming console himself since he has money, but he got all dramatic and ranted about how he wouldn't because then he'll be judged for getting anything for himself. You're already getting judged, mate. Don't you
yell
worry.
At your wife in front of your parents, and that's better than being judged for buying a gaming console for yourself?
His parents tried to get involved, but he straight up told me how disappointed he was and said that I ruined his Christmas. Then went upstairs and avoided talking to me till we got back and the whole argument restarted. He kept repeating that he was disappointed and that I ruined Christmas for him, saying, "Good job screwing up," even after I pointed out how rude it was of him to react like that in front of his parents. He's waiting for an apology at the moment and still upset about what I did. Am I the a-hole? Now edit, for the record, he used to own an Xbox, but it got broken like 3 years ago, and he didn't want to get himself a new one, saying that there are more important things to focus on. I get why he was disappointed, but I argued with him about the kids' gifts as well, since that matters too. Also, I bought gifts for family members, so I'm not sure if I was right to do that knowing money is tight. My mother-in-law got an expensive gift from him, and so did the rest of the family. Oh, so this man who's accusing you of being irresponsible with finances is equally being irresponsible by buying expensive gifts himself.
It's
Interesting.
just like-
The hypocrisy.
Just like a little bit of financial abuse.
Yeah, just a little.
Just like a little bit.
Let's see top comment. Nata, your husband is abusing you. This is literally financial abuse. You deserve money to spend on yourself. Doesn't matter if you don't make a salary, you still do work keeping house. Not only that, but yelling at you like that at all, but especially in front of people, is also abusive. Please look into getting disability or unemployment and getting away from him. Yeah, so his gift to you was the ability to buy him the gift he wanted. You need to get out now. This sounds highly abusive. Opie says, I don't know what he expected because the sneakers were among his wish list, so nothing he didn't want. I get that he might be feeling disappointed, thinking maybe I received enough money to buy him the console, but I had other commitments.
So it seems like it was to buy.
Yeah, it genuinely seems like he was only giving you that money for him to gain from later. Like, he was using you...
to justify the purchase.
Yeah, absolute scum. Overall, not the a-hole. Get away from this man immediately. Am I the a-hole for telling my new coworker it was misleading of him to be wearing his wedding band when he's a widower? Hi. A couple of weeks ago, we had a new employee hired at the company. He's a good guy and a widower named James, 36. And to my knowledge, his late wife passed away 8 months ago. Me, female who's 32, and the other co-workers got along well with him. However, I noticed that he is still wearing his wedding band on his finger. It kind of confused me a bit, and I couldn't help but bring it up with him while on lunch break. We talked and I pointed out that he was being misleading by still wearing his wedding band when he's a widower. He looked quite bothered by what I said, but I tried to explain that I think that he was giving people the wrong idea or impression about his relationship status, since he's technically single and on his own right now. Don't want to sound cruel, but I'm speaking from a technical angle. James said that he didn't give it much thought, meaning he doesn't care what people think, and that even if he wasn't wearing his wedding band and some woman approached him, he'd still turn them down since he's obviously not interested. For some reason, things got awkward and everyone stopped eating and just stared at James and me. I told him, I don't know, but that really felt generally misleading of him, as in making people think he is in a relationship, married, when he is not, regardless of how he felt about being in a relationship. Well, he got upset, called me rude, and said that I repeatedly disrespected his marriage and his late wife's memory with what I said, then took his stuff and walked away. My co-workers said, regardless of who was right or wrong, thought some said he overreacted, there was no reason for me to bring this up on the first place and cause a scene and make James upset with us like that. Now he's not speaking to me and others who sided with me. Am I the a-hole? Did I overstep or did he overreact? Genuinely confused why you thought it was so important.
Exactly. How does it affect you in any way, shape, or form if he continues to wear his wedding band?
Yeah.
Are you trying to get in?
Yeah, that's...
Like, it's been 8 months. Let the poor man live his life. He doesn't need to tell people he's single. And the fact that you're telling him, well, you're technically single, so you should take that off so other people know your status. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
No one's going to see a wedding band and be like, are you single or is your wife dead? They're just not going to question it.
You know, I was keen to just absolutely ride you, but you're still wearing your wedding band, and that's really weird to me. So, like, what's going on here? Can I smash or not?
Why? I just want to know why.
Yeah, why are
She
you
thought
so
she
invested?
should bring that up. Yeah.
You're the a-hole. A wedding ring isn't a sign to others you aren't available. It's a commitment to a person you love. His wife might be dead, but if he's not ready to move on, then he's still committed to her. Your confusion about his status isn't his concern.
Oh, you're depressed. Just be happy.
Oh my God,
Just
yes.
go outside. Just go for a walk. Just go marry someone else. Then you have a new wife who's alive. Better yet, marry two. Then you've got options.
Am I the a-hole for telling my grandmother-in-law if she was a better mum and her daughter wouldn't be having an allergic reaction? And it isn't my fault at all. I wanted to host Christmas this year, but someone else already had dibs, so I settled for a small Christmas morning brunch. I invited both sides of the family. I made orange rolls, cinnamon rolls, hash brown casserole, and eggs. Mother-in-law is allergic to orange, but I didn't anticipate a problem because she is obviously an adult who can just not eat the orange rolls. I did warn her that the ones on the left were orange. Now, for some background, the grandmother-in-law and grandfather-in-law fricked up their kids so bad. Literally all of mother-in-law's siblings have issues. Mother-in-law is by far the most normal. She has a huge victim complex and some emotional issues, but she has a job and no criminal record, so she is doing better than her siblings.
How does this relate to allergic reactions?
Yeah, maybe it's a psychological thing, but let's see. Just give it a chance. Let's give it a chance. I can't even put into words how bad the parenting was. The kids were so spoiled. And then there was no discipline. The mum gave the girls eating disorders. Mother-in-law's sister really bullied her growing up. The great father-in-law let his crazy mum come around and spew racist stuff. There was zero accountability. Now, for example, a mother-in-law drove a car into their house when she was 19 because she had been drinking, and they were just like, meh, and bought her a new car. So on Christmas Day, mother-in-law's sister decided to rub orange frosting on her arm as a prank. It gave her a rash. Mother-in-law immediately began moaning about how we all hate her and bringing up drama from years ago. Mother-in-law's boyfriend was the only one with enough sense to wash mother-in-law's arm. The great father-in-law did tell his 40-something-year-old daughter that she shouldn't have done that, but that was it. And mother-in-law was more concerned with bringing up random examples of our perceived hatred. Also, I know it is dangerous and a non-severe allergy can turn severe, but it was just a rash, and mother-in-law was okay.
What is happening at this family
There's a lot going on, but hopefully there's a TLDR to kind of summarize. Great mother-in-law cornered me in the kitchen and said I was irresponsible for serving orange rolls when I know her daughter is allergic. Now, she said I should have thought more about the family, and I failed as a hostess. I was just sick of all of them and told her that she failed as a mother, and her middle-aged daughter shouldn't be using an allergen to prank someone. I said she is the reason her kids all have such severe issues, she is the reason the family is a mess, and I won't take any responsibility for serving orange. Great mother-in-law cried and ended up leaving early, and 2 of mother-in-law's siblings left and refused to speak to me. Okay, no summary of the story, sadly, to really make sense of it all, but I've firstly got to point out that the sibling, the sister who's abusing the mother-in-law here, like, she's middle-aged and she's acting like a freaking 14-year-old, hell, like a 9-year-old. How is this the OP's fault?
It's an individual's responsibility to just not touch something they're allergic to.
The mother-in-law didn't actually grab the orange stuff herself. It was forced upon her.
This family needs therapy, or to just not see each other.
If you were so aware of the problems of this family, why did you want to host this?
It also would have been just easier to not make orange rolls.
Yeah.
Like, there are many other flavors. If you know how problematic and chaotic your family is,
Yes.
just don't do it. Don't add fuel to the fire. Be like, there's some orange rolls there. Anybody gonna touch them? Anybody gonna smear them on someone's arm?
Top comment. Immediately siding with what we were about to say. Why do you want these people in your life? Honestly, I'm not even going to make a judgment here. I just want to know if OP is even happy. With this family, maybe instead of orange rolls, she should have had popcorn. Oh my god.
Oh!
More like used Agent Orange and made humanity a little better overall. Fuck. Meanwhile, in r/we love children. Children are the best. We definitely want children someday. Christmas isn't for adults without children. This is the newest excuse my dad came up with for not getting me anything for Christmas this year. 3rd year in a row. He has me, 36, and my brother, 34. And his partner of 7 years has 4 daughters from her first marriage, all 50 plus with adult children. My dad isn't married to his partner. All 5 of the kids and I have been pooling money to get them a big gift for the past 5 or so years. This year, it was a week away, and the tickets to see one of their favorite musicians in concert. I also sent other nice gifts that he requested 2 weeks ago that he opened when they arrived, and thanked me for them already. My brother and his parents' daughters all got amazing gifts from my dad. Gift cards to their favorite places, jewelry, designer bags. My brother also got a new car, and my dad recently gave him a house. 2 of the daughters have adult children, and the other 2 are child-free like me. I know what he got everyone because he starts a group chat with us all and brags about how much he spent on everyone. My brother thinks it's freaking hysterical that my dad constantly leaves me out, so he'll always ask my dad in the chat what he got me this year, and my dad will reply back with, haha. So why do I get intentionally ignored? Because my brother has a 3-year-old daughter, and I'm child-free, and Christmas isn't for adults without children. My brother has always been more favored. My dad uses the excuse that this is how it's supposed to be in his culture. Women serve men. So, wait.
Tasty.
How does that...
Has absolutely nothing to do with you having a child.
But he's lived in the current country all of us live in now for over 50 years. It's not the culture here. While I had to pay 100% of my college tuition, get jobs starting at 14, etc., my brother got a free ride on my dad's back his entire life so far. Private high school, college, cars, apartments, vacations with his friends. My dad has given my brother everything he has wanted and more. For birthdays, I would get $20 from my dad, and every Christmas, I would get a small gift or an obviously re-gifted present from him. The last year I got something from him, it was a canvas bag monogrammed with his initials. So over the years, I've tried really hard not to let it bother me and have accepted it. But this year, my dad is rubbing it in my face that unless I give him a grandchild, he continues to expect me to treat him like a king, while he seems to enjoy treating me like an afterthought. I asked him if I've done something wrong, using the gifts he gave the 4 daughters as an example, and he told me that he gave them all of those things because he had to treat them equally.
Because they're women, and they serve him, remember?
But that doesn't... because he even says some of the daughters are child-free themselves.
But they have a vagina.
Of course. It makes no sense, and I'm sure he takes even greater pleasure knowing that his rationale gives him free rent in my head. I'm trying to focus on finding happiness and that Christmas is over and I'll be taking a break from my relationship with him for a while. Yeah, wow, I love the constant backflipping he does in his thought process just to further...
It literally makes no sense.
Yeah.
I want to know, alright, so I wrote something down. I want to know if their mum maybe had a sneaky affair and he's not actually his child and he's just taking it out on him.
Ooh, and if he did actually tell him that, like, I'm not your father.
That's just a bit spicy.
Yeah, then he wouldn't really have any power over the OP anymore, because the OP would just be like, well, yeah, I don't actually have to owe you anything. I can just say bye-bye. Interesting. Good theory. I like it.
Thank you. Always here for the spicy angle.
Would you consider not getting him a gift? I mean, if he's going to be disrespectful, he's then not entitled to a gift. He's currently getting the benefits of Christmas without participating with you in gift giving. And the OP admitting that, yeah, they just need to grow a spine and not get him anything at all next year. Found it hard to say no from the time all of the kids have been splitting a big gift because I don't want to be the one child that doesn't participate, but it's clear now that my dad takes even greater pleasure knowing I've sacrificed for him while he gets to upset me for free. Am I the a-hole for insulting my sister after she announced her pregnancy at Christmas? I, 24-year-old female, am the youngest of 4, and I've never been particularly close to my eldest sister Jenny, 37-year-old female. She started dating her now ex-husband Sam, 38, when they were in high school, so he's pretty much been around my entire life. Sam is a really great guy. He was an older brother to me growing up, and my other sisters and I all have a great relationship with him. Jenny and Sam have 2 kids together, my nephew and niece who are 8 and 5. About 3 years ago, Jenny and Sam's relationship completely fell apart, and she left him and moved to a different city. I've heard both sides of the story, and I know I'm inherently biased against my sister because she left my ex-brother-in-law to raise 2 kids by himself. Things were pretty rough after she left, but we all pitched in and did our best to help with the kids. My sister and Sam eventually finalized their divorce, and she gave up custody of the kids, and is very low contact with them. I know Sam blamed himself for her leaving because she had accused him of not loving her as much as he loved the kids, but the rest of my family were firmly on his side. He did eventually move on and started dating one of his close friends at the beginning of this year. Fast forward to 2 months ago. My sister moved back to our city with a new boyfriend. She's only been to see her kids once, supervised, and my niece almost didn't recognize her. My parents still wanted the opportunity to finally have Christmas as a complete family again. I thought the whole thing would be a disaster before it even began. I knew my ex-brother-in-law only planned to stay long enough to drop off the kids and say a quick hello to everyone else. In the 15-minute window he was at my parents' house, my sister announced that she was pregnant, and things went downhill after that. The kids were so confused, and my niece asked if the new baby would live with them. My sister laughed and said the baby would live with her and her boyfriend. Wow, laughing at your child's face. What a piece of work.
No, I didn't want you. I want this one.
My ex-brother-in-law left with the kids in tow, and I kind of lost it. I yelled at my sister and called her selfish and cruel and a whole slew of insults, anything I could come up with in the moment before storming out myself. My other sisters support my actions, but my parents are disappointed that I reacted that way and made a scene during Christmas. They're not demanding that I apologize or anything, but I have put me on the one heck of a guilt trip and want me to resolve things with my sister. I'm perfectly happy not being in contact with her, given that she's put my niece and nephew through, but I do wonder if I reacted too harshly. Was I an a-hole?
I feel like the whole family is on your side. They're like, it was uncomfortable, but we agree.
Yeah. You basically said what they were all wanting to say.
Yeah. That's so weird. Like the parents, fair enough, they wanted a Christmas as a family, but that's so weird that specific daughter had to be back for it to be considered a family Christmas.
Not the a-hole. Your sister turned Christmas into a way to dunk on her ex and her own kids. And exactly what you were mentioning just then. This is the worst part. She told her own kids that their half-sibling wouldn't be staying with them and laughed at them. She's cruel and heartless. Definitely Natar. Ooh! You're the a-hole for getting involved in drama that had nothing to do with you. I mean...
She dropped a bomb in front of everyone at a Christmas dinner.
You are both the a-hole. The a-hole? You are both the a-hole. Your sister, everything she did prior to you losing your cool was her being the a-hole. You losing your cool and hurling insults, name-calling, yelling, etc., just so we're clear, that's violent communication, also makes you the a-hole. Learn how to regulate your feelings and express them non-violently. Nobody should tolerate that kind of behavior or verbal abuse from anyone, whether or not they are in the wrong themselves. I applaud your attempt at stoicism of not being emotionally influenced by anything. That's just the way life is. But no, this person's an a-hole. Yeah, you deserve to lash out at them. That's the end of today's stories. Thank you, as always, for watching and taking your time to enjoy these rambles we have together. This has been myself, Jack, and Emily, amazing special guest that is always special because she's always here every time we do these, and she's amazing and makes these worth fun. Very special.
Very special.
Yeah. She's a special little snowflake. As always, if you like these videos, please leave a like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff as well. But until the next time, be good, be safe, drink water, and see you then for some more random, dramatic, controversial stories. Bye-bye. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Yeah.